fuel prices that have skyrocketed, and this has further added to the woes of the common man. In some cities, petrol and diesel prices that have touched record highs that have never been seen before. In the national capital in Delhi, petrol now costs 84.20 rupees per litre. And this is an all-time high for Delhi as well. In Mumbai, diesel prices have climbed up to rupees 81 per litre. And this is once again the highest that the city has ever seen. We're going to be continuing getting you further details here on this. This is in fact across cities. We have Mugalan with us from Chennai. Srija is with us from Bengaluru. First to you, Srija, in the prices that we're seeing in the city of Bengaluru, take us through that latest grid here and also help us understand on how this is affecting people. This is coming in at a time where family home budgets have been hit badly as well.
Well, Seher, it is important to note that as far as the Petrol and the Fuel Association here in Bengaluru is concerned, what they tell us is that over the last 2 months, and of course they had not seen a significant hike in the fuel prices. It was only during the first week of December. As far as the petrol is concerned, we did see how it was at least about standing at 86 rupees, and then it closed at clearly the highest as 86.51. The 1st of December had reported, as far as Bengaluru is concerned, is 85, which means we are of course looking at an overall performance and an incline, a percentage of nearly 1%. So today's rate, the going rate that we're looking as far as per litre of petrol is concerned is 87.2, and if you're really going across to looking at the price of diesel is 78.86. Now if I could go across to a person over here, can you tell us how the fuel prices are affecting your...
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Fuel prices ಹೇಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಫ್ಯೂಲ್ ಪ್ರೈಸಸ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದಿನ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್.
ಏನು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ? Okay, you have a lot of people. In fact, it's important also to note from the customers, what they tell us is that even though there has been a significant hike as far as the fuel prices in the state of Karnataka, or even for that matter, Bengaluru alone, a lot of people, they tell us is that what can you do more about it? Because Karnataka as a state itself has levied tax, even the central tax is there to talk about. That is one reason. And even if the state or the center for that matter goes on, as far as the taxes are concerned, hiking them, they still cannot, in fact, step out with their own vehicles. Also, Seher, it's significantly come down as far as the people, the transport, public transport is concerned. And you can also see more number of people, in fact, using their own private vehicles, and despite the increase in fuel prices.
All right, those are some of the voices, of course. Many willing not to talk about this here, but as we have continued to get in other voices here, there undoubtedly is a huge hit here as far as home budgets are concerned. Our correspondent Mugalan is getting us those details here from Chennai as well. Chennai, I beg your pardon, Mugalan, as we've seen this in the past as well, the state governments meet with the central governments meet with the state governments in efforts here to bring down prices, which is as far as the excise duty and the state VAT structure is concerned. Any such indications coming in from the state government of Tamil Nadu on pulling that down?
Definitely, yes, that's been a long-standing demand, but we have seen that the Tamil Nadu state government has not shown any progress towards that, because the Tamil Nadu state government feels the only way of steady revenue is through the sale of fuels here in the state, and that is why the excise duty and the other taxes are levied, and there has not been reduced by the state government. And yes, in Chennai here now the petrol is being sold at 87 rupees, and you can see we are at a petrol bunk. Sir, இந்த தொடர்ந்து விலையேற்றம் உங்களை எப்படி பாதிக்குது சார்?
ரொம்பவே பாதிக்குது சார். ரொம்பவே பாதிப்பாக தான் இருக்கும். எல்லாம் பொதுமக்கள் எல்லாமே பாதிப்பாங்க. இல்லை 100 ரூபா வந்துடும் போல இருக்கு.
இது இந்த விலையேற்றம் உங்கள் மந்த்லி பட்ஜெட்டில் என்ன பாதிக்குது?
மோஸ்ட்லி ஒரு 20,000 வாங்குறோம் அப்படின்னா ஒரு 5,000 பெட்ரோலுக்கே போகும். கன்வீனியன்ஸ். இந்த லாக்டவுனில் ரொம்ப கஷ்டம்.
We could hear from one of the motorists who says that if he earns 20,000 rupees as a monthly salary, 5,000 he is spending on petrol alone, and he fears that the petrol will reach 100 rupees per litre one day, and he says that it will be completely unimaginable and unmanageable for him in his monthly budget. So this is the kind of situation that prevails here in Chennai. On a daily basis, we are saying that the petrol prices are going up. In last 2 days alone, the petrol price has been hiked by at least 50 paise, and in last 10 days also we have seen an upward trend in the petrol prices. So the motorists who are here in Chennai, they demand that the central government and state government should find a way to bring down the fuel prices, and they say it is completely unmanageable for them as the petrol prices continues to climb up.
That's right. Many thanks for getting us those inputs here as well. But the central government has met regarding this issue as well. We learned that the Prime Minister's office once again has held a high-level meeting over the rising global crude prices. Sources here also indicating the Prime Minister is concerned about the global crude oil prices trading at the highest level since February 2022. So this hike, of course, primarily coming in because of the global prices that have risen as well. This meeting that was held yesterday, there have been no decisions taken yet regarding excise duty, which is directly in the hands of the central government here, but discussions on that front are underway as well. Times Network's correspondent Karisma is getting us those inputs.
Exclusive, and it's the big news of the day. Today morning we learned of the news that how petrol and diesel prices in the country have taken a major hike, and now what we are picking up from sources is that PMO has chaired a high-level meeting yesterday on rising global crude oil prices and its impact on consumers, companies and economy. In fact, Principal Secretary to Prime Minister took this meeting in communication with officials from Finance and Oil Ministry. What we are picking up is that discussions were held on a possible excise duty cut. We yet do not know if that decision is final, but it's safe to say that they have not yet ruled out this option. And this, of course, the government is trying to cushion the blow to consumers with all the kind of distress that consumers have already been going through. In fact, PMO is concerned about the rising burden on consumers and users and also the kind of impact that this could have on the fiscal deficit in case an excise duty cut is given. A lot has happened in past few months because of COVID-19. The distress is clearly seen while the economy is trying to, of course, pull its gear in order to get back to normalcy. This is a major distress for consumer with the price hike in petrol and diesel. And during times like COVID, this could soften the blow and lessen the pain that people are already in. We are also picking up from sources that PMO will be chairing few more meetings on this, as also the budget is around the corner and a decision on this is expected soon.
Let's get in more voices here on this. We have Mr. Kirit Parekh with us, energy expert, as well as the chairperson of IRADE, which is Integrated Research and Action for Development. Mr. Parekh, appreciate you being with us here. In your view, how the government at this point of time can step in, because this time it's not a rise in prices with respect to a rise in the tax bracket here, but this is directly because of the rise in global prices.
Yeah, when the global prices rise, obviously the price that increase should be passed on to the consumer. But the reality is that the price that the consumer pays, there is a lot of tax, excise duty that both the center and the states provide. While the center's duty is fixed. And it doesn't vary with the price of international price of oil. That of states is linked to the duty included international price cost. So it is ad valorem. And therefore, the states have a lot of scope for cutting down some of this excise duty. And they can do it in a way that their revenues do not change, but the rate should be reduced, because if suppose the price goes from from 70 to 80, and the central government puts a tax excise on it for 10, so it becomes 90, and the tax that the states would impose would be ad valorem on this 90, and that's where I think the problem comes. There are a number of states where they depend largely on the excise from oil revenues, and therefore I think there is a scope for cutting down at this stage.
Mr. Parekh, would you put this more on the states here, for the states to be slashing down their VAT, or more for the central government to be looking also at the very, very heavy percentage of excise duty here, something which is directly in the hands of the central government as well?
Right. And the central government can reduce its excise duty a bit, but given the current financial situation, I'm not sure that the central government, the finance minister, will take that step. But I do believe that the states have some scope here for reducing their excise duty to moderate or completely eliminate the rise in international oil prices. So
That's
think,
right. Well, appreciate you speaking with us here, Mr. Kirit Parekh, on that view. This is wholly dependent here on the states and the central government together to pitch in to bring down those prices which maintain the revenue to the states and the central government, but also bring that relief to the people.